Good morning and Merry Christmas. Hope you're all well. Hope you've had, nice time kind of celebrating with family and all that kind of stuff. If you've had a couple of days off training, good job. Probably getting ready to get back in now and continue working hard. I think when we go back kind of fully on the 3rd of January. So after the 3rd of January, I think then we're 14 weeks from trials. So not that long to make a difference really and be at peak condition for then. But we don't have to worry about trials just yet. We can enjoy ourselves, and I'm going to show you the last meet of the year. So we did obviously nationals at the start of December, and then 2 weeks later we raced at Derby. So the Derby meet is at the pool that I used to train in, but not the actual pool. So I trained there when it was old and run down, and it was like a weird L shape where one weighs 33 metres and one weighs nearly 25. But they've redone it. Beautiful building, 10 lane, 50 metre pool. We're racing short course, then we've got the other half for warming up in. Really, really good facility. Really, kind of not. There are a few things obviously could be you would improve if you were going for a like all out on a swimming place. But we're going to have a look at the races now. We're going to look chronologically on which day, and then you'll see the probably the best race of my swimming career so far. So if we get these up, then we start with the 50 freestyle. So this was on the Saturday morning. Now I was staying at home for this, so I live not far from Derby. We're maybe 25-30 minutes from the pool. So I stayed at home, but that meant I was travelling with my mum, and we had to be there about 4 hours before this race. So a lot of sitting around, which kind of might explain some of the a little bit of rustiness maybe. So this is the 50 freestyle. I can't remember if I said that, but this is the 50 freestyle. So there's me in lane 4. For whatever reason, no one in lane 5. I don't really know why. And it looks okay. It's just a little bit slipping, I think. And when I was swimming, I was aware that I'm kind of entering and not catching early on. Pushed off a little bit deep, and then I was an extra couple of kicks then, but those kicks then weren't very good. So I come in there in 22.04. So it's okay, but not fantastic. My best 21.9, but I feel like I'm capable of faster than that. So then we went into Saturday afternoon. This is the 100 freestyle. So I'm here in lane 4, and we've got Donatas is in lane 6. So I think the camera does get us both in, which is pretty good. So 2 weeks ago, obviously I didn't race the 50 freestyle, which is a bit of a shame. I'd be interested to see what I was capable of going there. And then at nationals, I did race the 100 freestyle, as you'll have seen last week, and my time there was 47.75. But the feeling on the race last week was that I was a little bit rushed, kind of slipping the stroke to chase the rate. So my aim here really was to keep the stroke longer. And you can see, even looking at it, it looks a lot more in control. And I'm a stroke less on each of those first two 25s, which is really interesting. But I was still out basically the same time. I was out 22.7. A little bit long into that third wall, second wall as well. Third wall really, really long. But then as I come here, now I wanted to go a longer no breath finish, but I inhaled some water, which didn't help. But I finished there in 47.81, so just 600 slower than nationals. Which again, when you kind of consider the scenario of having been at the pool then by this point for about 7 hours, I think I'd be pretty happy with that. I know that I was swimming it better, so when I race it long course, if I can swim it long course like that, I'm going to set myself up really well to PB. Then just a few minutes after that 100 freestyle was the 50 fly. So again, I raced this at nationals. I was 22.7 in that final. Now by this point though, obviously it's only a few minutes after the 100 free. I'm feeling it quite a lot, to be fair. Pretty clean entry though on these dives. 8 kicks off the start, same as nationals, and then 6 strokes, And how good is that, by the way, turning onto pads? Brilliant. It makes such a big difference that you're not grabbing a gut, you can actually just touch and go. 12 kicks off the turn, like I did in that final, but this time 5 strokes was long instead of 6 that was at National. So that's interesting, really. I think that tells me that maybe the kick quality was a lot better. Obviously, I'm breaking out pretty much bang on 15. And then maybe I have room for fitting in the extra stroke. I'm not really sure. I know definitely I'm faster on a turn going long. I'm not sure necessarily into a finish. Maybe that's something I ought to kind of keep track of. I think my instinct is always to go long, but I think that's mainly because when you train onto a gutter, which is what we train on most of the time, you can't necessarily come in short because there's no wall there. So I think that's why we have the instinct to go long. But I wonder if I were to have a pad in every time I swim fly or anything fast fly, I could get into that habit of touching high. And we're going to see on the 100 fly coming up that, again, if I was able to maybe adjust so I'm finishing high on the wall, that gives me room to come around rather than coming down and having to turn from there. Maybe that would save me some time. Okay, so that was the 50 fly, 23.2. So half a second off, but I think kind of given that I'd been there for so long and just done the 100 freestyle, kind of solid job. Then we go on to the 100 fly. So went home Saturday night, knackered, slept really well, and then there's some of the tools we use in swimming to kind of improve our performance. One of them is using bicarbonate of soda, and so what that does is it's meant to act as a buffer. So when you produce lactic acid, it's that acid part of it that makes your muscles burn. So the kind of the theory and the science kind of suggests that if you take sodium bicarbonate, which is very alkaline, that's going to neutralize the acid, and so you'll be able to perform better. Now, the problem is that this is disgusting. If you've ever tried it, you know it is mean. So normally you just put it into some water, try and drink it, but it's horrible. So I actually bought a machine to fill capsules. I use the capsules, but like an idiot, I left that in Manchester. So I was just trying to eat it straight, and that just didn't agree with me, and I ended up throwing up on that Sunday morning. So I spent the morning throwing up. So obviously there were a few mistakes that I'd made at Nationals with spotting the walls. So we went in with the plan of 8 kicks off the start, 5 strokes, 10 kicks, 6 strokes, 9 kicks, 7 strokes, 10 kicks, 7 strokes. Right, that was the plan going into it, and we'll watch it now. So again, here I am in lane 4, wearing the bright green Arena Primo. Big fan of that suit, by the way, the Primo. Yeah, I do really like it. So we're underway here. Really good underwater there, kind of bang on 15 and 5 strokes, pretty much straight onto the wall there. But you see how I was a little bit down. If I was able to judge that to be higher, might be slightly quicker. And off that wall, my underwater felt really strong. And because 6 strokes was bang on there, I made that split mid-race decision to go 10 kicks off this wall instead of 9. Because I thought I'll be able to hold the length. And you see I'm breathing forwards. I'm really low, slightly long into that wall, but I think if I was 1 kick less, 7 strokes would have been more messed up. So I think that was the right decision. And then with 2 strokes with a breath, and then head down, driving into the wall, get the touch. And it doesn't show the time here, but I was 49.94. Now, that's a big milestone. So 49, there's only now, before this race, there were only 3 British men ever been 49. That was Adam Barrett, Josh Gammon and Jacob Peters. I'm now the 4th, and that time then is the third fastest out of all of those. So Barrett's got the British record at 49.21. Gammon has been 49.87. I'm 49.94, and then Peters has been 49.98. So really, really happy with that. That's my. I wanted to go that at Nationals like 2 years ago. Didn't. Last year, didn't. This year, didn't. And then finally, I kind of swam it basically as well as I possibly could have done. So so that's why I think this is probably the best race I've ever done from an outcome and how it was swum. It was all like exactly how it wanted to be. It's quite nice as well that again if we look at it, there's no, obviously it's 10:30 in the morning, which obviously makes a difference. We are, as athletes, and as humans really, we perform better in the evening. So it being in the morning, and without trying to be disrespectful, I won this race by was about 7 seconds, 8 seconds. So there's no kind of direct race to push on. And then, like I kind of alluded to earlier, these blocks are fine, but they're not ideal. So I think if I'd put together this swim, really if Ponds Forge had pads, I think this swim would have been probably faster last time. But yeah, really, really happy with that. And we can have a look at the analysis. So if I get the analysis up here, so we've got the reaction time 0.72, so slightly slow really, that could be better. We've got the splits out 23.1, so that was actually out faster than the 50 fly the day before. Obviously I had no races before it, but it is actually out 0.06 faster than at Nationals. But the big difference really is in that back end. And the biggest difference with that is this third 25. I think first 25 slightly faster, second 25 is identical, and I was just faster here. What's interesting though, that this really shows the quality of my kicks got worse as we went through. So 6.43 to break out, but then 7.0 to 15 versus the next one, 6.63. So similar-ish to breaking out with the same number of kicks, but significantly slower. And then on that 425, basically identical again, breaking out, but slower to 15. And that reinforces what I thought while I was swimming it, that my kicks are not as effective off that last wall, which is really encouraging, because imagine in a year's time, if I can get that, or when I get that nailed, that's going to be easy time. Again, if these can stay at 7.0 to 15s, that's like another 1.7. Obviously, it's going to drop off a bit, but potentially up to like 1.7, 1.5 seconds that can come off that, which then puts you in the serious world-class conversation, really. And speaking of world-class, this swim would have placed me, obviously it being at 10:30 in the morning is identical to what they raced in Budapest for the Short Course Worlds. So this swim would have put me 10th in the heats. And then let's say I'd swum the heat in this time, 10th, that time again in the final would have been 14th. But likely, like I said, in that environment, in those circumstances, I'm very confident I'd have been faster. So it's a shame that I didn't get an opportunity to swim there. I kind of understand reasons why, but it kind of means that I have to be bulletproof in April, that I will not be denied. Yeah, interesting as well that the stroke rate stayed the same. This stroke rate on the last 25 is higher because I started measuring it when the head went down, and the rate went up naturally because the head went down on that sprint into the finish. So pretty well swum. About half an hour after that, I raced 50 backstroke, and I don't really know how to swim backstroke quickly. I was pretty buzzing from that 100 fly, but my legs had been worked obviously a lot. So I was 25.2 on that, which is kind of okay. I was meant to have a race video, but the lad I asked to film it forgot. Typical. So I don't have a race video, but it wouldn't have been worth watching anyway. And then finally, if I get rid of the analysis, I've got the second 25 of the 50 breaststroke. There is the full video somewhere, but I don't have it yet. So I'm in lane 5, and Carnell, who you might have seen in some of the videos, is in lane 4, and I've been giving him I've been in his ear for a while, telling him I'm going to beat him. And you see I'm ahead. I'm just about ahead. Still ahead. Still ahead. He's coming though. Still ahead. Just longing to finish, but I got him. See there, 27.96. I don't think I'd ever been under 30, you know, actually, but so probably like a 2 and a bit second PB. Garnell, 28.3. I think he got a bit caught up in racing, but that's it. Bragging rights goes to me. Hey. On fire. Right, but I think that'll do it for me from today. So thanks for watching. I appreciate kind of all this support on these videos, especially in the last few months, kind of the views and kind of the comments, everything's really positive. So thank you for that. If there's stuff you want to see next year or in 2025, please let me know. If you want an analysis on your racing, go to my website, www.jingramswimming.com. And apart from that, I'll see you next time. Cheers.